Successful, powerful, purpose-driven men. There is something that I have become familiar with in the literature I've been pouring through for the past 5 years of my life in terms of personal development. And it shows that there is an effect that all successful people have knowledge on. And this is known as the hormetic effect or hormesis. If you are unfamiliar with this term, I press on you to become familiar with it. But essentially we hear about the notion of successful people being able to delay instant gratification. They get between the bullshit of pleasuring themselves needlessly. They shy away from giving themselves the validation in the now in space of acquiring it over time. And essentially this idea of the hormetic effect is the practical application of this philosophy. I'm going to best explain the hormetic effect in a couple of examples, namely cold showers, namely fasting, namely lifting weights. So on the surface level, you need to understand to induce the hormetic effect is to incite and embed a stress in your body. Now this stress isn't great, it is a minor stress, it's a challenge, and the inciting of this stress alludes to a beneficial biological response that is predicated on that initial stress. So what you're teaching your body when you induce hormesis is that, like a scar on your skin, this is the analogy I'm going to give. If you fall over and graze your knee, if you cut yourself, if you get a laceration on your body, the skin repairs a little bit harder, a little bit tougher, with more resilience. I guess the best word is to use, but that is the best way, I believe, to describe the hormetic effect, and a poetic, practical, known knowledge of how it works within our daily habits. So I mentioned before cold showers, fasting, lifting weights. The third, lifting weights. If you are new to this channel then and you are lifting weights, this is a place for you. You're in good company, for it is the first step, I realized, and the first philosophy that runs incongruent with the hormetic effect. So lifting weights, in that way you're damaging the muscle in order to build it up, to make it stronger, to make it tougher, to grow. Fasting. Now, this is going to be hard for men who have a history of weightlifting and getting big and bodybuilding and wanting to have that masculine frame, that powerful masculine frame. Fasting is the destruction of your ego, and it's going to be very hard for some of you to come to grips with, but fasting is going to support you in a way whereby you are boosting a biological beneficial response in regards to another bodily process known as autophagy. Again, I don't want to get into the minutiae details. I am a scientist, but this isn't a scientist video. Autophagy is your internal recycling system. It cleans you out. It allows the body to go and seek out damaged cells, to seek out cells that aren't working with efficiency, and to recycle them. Get the proteins out, get the nutrients out, cleans you out. Again, I talk about this a lot. But if you are unable to fast, if you're unable to go for sustained periods of time without food, it doesn't go into this typical, it doesn't go against this typical idea that bodybuilders have about eating 3 meals a day. Or I need to get my 30 grams, 40 grams of protein every 3 hours. That's how I remain anabolic and I put on muscle. No, what happens when you fast, my friends, is you realize, again, I'm going to relay back to hunter-gatherer ancestors times, but why would the body begin to break down, make you catabolic, your muscle, if that is the only means for you to seek food and sustenance. Doesn't make any logical sense. In fact, when the body realizes it's starved of these nutrients, it boosts your musculature. It gives you extra energy in order to achieve that next meal. And last but not least, my friend, cold showers. Now, I learned about cold showers from dear mentor Wim Hof, the Iceman. And if you're into personal development, I'm sure you'll be familiar with the Iceman. Again, that hormetic effect, it's going into that cold, going into that resistance and learning how to breathe, induce that parasympathetic response. Again, I'm going to draw on another analogy to help you easily digest why this is so conducive to your success and to your purpose. If you are able to go into resistance, into challenge, into discomfort, and breathe, incite that cooling, parasympathetic, nurturing response in the body. That is the essence of life, my friends. Life is discomfort. Life is challenge. Life is not. It's not comfortable. It's not always met on our terms. So to conclude, my friends, incite the hormetic effect. Despise the free lunch, the instant gratification culture. Go into discomfort and watch yourself grow. And as always, to your good health, my friends.